Dad. Hi, it's Annie.
Hey, Showgirls.
Get everyone who is not a Swiftie to not listen to the rest of this.
How are we today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the 13th episode of Long Story Short.
Kind of fitting.
We didn't do this on purpose, but we are recording our 13th episode.
We are.
Mere days after Taylor Swift released her latest album.
We did. And a few days also after I sprained my wrist. Just like
way less important, but just good. So I know like not all of our listeners are Swifties.
Right.
And we can very much respect that.
Of course.
My disclaimer is I do think that most of this episode will involve Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But I think if you're at all interested in, like, if you've heard all the hubbub around this album, if you are interested in music and pop culture, in like what the hell is going on in the world of Taylor Swift right now, I think it might still be interesting for you.
I totally agree. I also think that like with certain things, and I don't know if anyone else is going to relate to this, but I feel like there are certain pop culture things that I'm like, it's none of my business. Like it's too much. I can't. It's a Giggly Squad line that I just stole. But like I can't. I'm not in this world. I don't have the mental capacity to like, I don't know, certain topics of like, okay.
It feels like overwhelming almost.
It's overwhelming. I feel this way about Sally, Fibula, and the girl that he does the podcast with.
Brooke.
Like
that's a whole thing this week.
A whole thing that when I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'm like, and you know what? That is for the fans of the three of them. I don't even know, whatever, to be excited about, upset about, you know, debating over. I do feel like the Taylor Swift of it all probably feels incredibly overwhelming for anyone who's like not in that. Like this is the epitome of something that I would be, if I wasn't a fan, I would be like, none of my business.
Same.
But
if you're
because
interested in making it your business for like an hour,
from two girls who are not blindly loyal.
Yes, I want to say we love her. But also,
two things can be
true. If you're here to hear us tell you like how much we're like literally obsessed with the album and she can do no wrong, we're not going to do that.
No.
So anyway, that's my little disclaimer about Ep 13. And
we'll talk about some other stuff too.
Totally, but I think I need to start here.
Okay, let's start. Can we talk about Okay, so can I tell you about my first listen?
Yes, and let me give 2 seconds of context, even though everyone probably knows this. Taylor released her 12th album called The Life of a Showgirl on Friday. And it's her first album post-Eras tour. She's been like having her biggest moment yet. She's engaged, yada, yada.
She also announced the new album on Travis and Jason Kelsey's football podcast, In the Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And
New Heights.
In the Heights is an amazing musical.
She did collab with Lin-Manuel
exactly.
on this album.
No, but she announced it on New Heights. In the Heights is so funny. She announced it on New Heights. It was like a 2.5 hour long episode that they recorded of the podcast with Taylor, and she announced the album, and it's her 12th, and she seemed to think it was
her best yet. She said that it was going to be lyrically similar to Folklore, which first of all, if you're like not a Taylor Swift fan, like I highly recommend that album. I feel like that's kind of the album that made us Taylor Swift fans.
It's her best album.
And it's like a lyrical masterpiece.
So
she definitely set our hopes high when she said that. And she said it was also going to have the sort of like poppy fun energy of 1989, which I would say is probably Taylor's most beloved like pure pop album.
And I will add to that she was not, I think, lovers of pop. Wait, what is that from? Is it from Bride Wars? Lovers of dance.
Oh, no, that's Ricky Koo, Doctor of Love.
Doctor of Love, of course. Sorry.
Or Doctor of Dance.
Whatever.
Forgot it.
Whatever. Anyway, Jesus. You're like, we need to keep our thoughts organized.
No,
I'm
no.
like, what about
I mean,
Ricky
they're never
Koo,
gonna-
Doctor of Dance from the Bride Wars?
I mean, they're
movie?
never going to be that organized.
She wasn't writing song. I mean, this is okay. Now we're getting like really into the lore, but like people were getting a little bit irritated by the amount of artists who were collaborating with Jack Antonoff, and like the music was sounding the same across the board. Like that's been a critique I've seen online.
Like in recent months, years.
Like, yeah, the last couple of years. And so I think, because he was on Midnights, right?
Yeah, and Tortured Poets. And Folklore and Evermore, I think.
So people were kind of like, this is what happens when you like with Midnights, which like, I like Midnights, but like people were kind of like, this is what happens when you like recycle the same Jack Antonoff like beats and melodies like over and over and over again, which like, whatever. That's another debate for another time. The fact that she wasn't working on this album with him and she was working on it with, who are the
Max Martin and Shellbach.
Those two were going to like bring us back to sort of this like perfect synergy between Folklore in 1989, and it was going to be like this sort of unique new sound that we hadn't heard from Taylor in a couple years.
And they also produced a lot of her most famous like poppy songs from back in the day with her. So people were very excited about that.
People were very excited.
People were super excited. People are us.
And also,
you can actually go back to like a couple episodes ago, you and I saying we had like amazing hopes, and I didn't think it was going to be bad. I think I literally said I don't fear at all that it's going to be bad.
Well, I said I'm worried for her. I'm worried about her because the expectations she's putting on this album are so high. She came out and said, this is a blend of my two most beloved albums in the exact way that all of my fans want the lyrics of Folklore and the pop beats of 1989. And you said to me, she's smart. She knows, like, unless she was 100% sure that this was a masterpiece album, she would not have said that.
Yeah, so one of us was right and one of us was wrong.
Yeah, and I'm bummed that I was the one who was right. I'm really bummed.
So let's start here.
Yeah.
The album comes out.
Yep.
You listen to it. What are your thoughts?
So it's about 12:04. I wasn't going to stay up. And then Mom was like, okay, I guess like I know who the real Swifties are in the family.
My mom texted the three of us and said, are you guys staying up to listen to the album? And we both said no.
She didn't say, are you staying up? She said, can we talk about the album when it drops? And
I said, I'm not staying up. I can't. And Annie said, I'm not either. And then my mom goes, guess I'm the only showgirl.
Yeah, that's what she said. So I stayed up.
And you know what? She's right.
She's right. So I stayed up till 12:04 to hear it. And then like my Spotify was glitching, whatever.
Easter egg. Just kidding.
Sorry. Ooh, I've got like some
It's
anger.
Okay. Let it out, queen.
I go on my Spotify and I play the first 5 words of the first song. And I'm like, okay. When I first listened to Midnights, it took a little warming up. And then as the night went on and I continued to listen, actually, that's not true. I liked the beginning of Elizabeth Taylor a lot. And then I was like, you know what? I actually don't have it in me to be disappointed in this album tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to bed.
Oh.
So I didn't listen to the whole thing that night. I woke up the next morning, and before I listened, I went and I got a pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks. And I was so ready to dive into this fall pop, maybe like commentary on like the state of the world that we're in.
See, I never thought it was going to be that, but yeah.
I was just, but like it not on the nose, but like you could apply it to like whatever. Imagine my surprise when
all you hear is about Travis's big old schlong.
Big piece of wood. And it's just, again, it was not anything that I thought it would be. Derogatory. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I can elaborate, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
I never like an album the first time I listen to it, or I rarely do.
Yeah, I know that about you.
The last time I listened to an album all the way through and loved it and then never changed my opinion was Eternal Sunshine, Ariana Grande, which like I love that album so much, but I I was prepared to not like it because I never like anything she does upon first listen.
You did not like Midnights on first listen.
No. I liked Midnights on first
and it
listen,
hasn't
actually,
held up.
and I don't like it now. I did not like Tortured Poets, and now it's in my top 3.
I would say that's like my second favorite after Folklore.
Yeah, so like...
Which was so recently.
Yeah, but... Well, okay. Yes. Okay. So I think that I was prepared to not like it. I also was feeling a little bit nervous about what it was going to be like, because let us not forget that, yes, this is the woman who has given us absolute poetry.
Invisible String.
But also the woman who has given us Me.
Yeah,
and
2 decades ago.
No, Me was 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And like, she has the capacity.
I thought you said Mean.
Oh no, Mean was great.
Yeah. I love that song.
Me.
Yeah.
Anyway, you all know it.
Yeah. You want to do the whole...
Like, she... Yeah. Like, she has the capacity to be very cheesy.
Of course.
Vigilante shit. Like,
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Of course.
Even I can do it with a broken heart. Like, it was campy. I'm so depressed. I act like it's my birthday. Like, okay, it's cheeky, but like, I didn't love it. The rest of the album, though, like, I know who she is, Miss Taylor Allison.
And I think
and I know she has the potential to be cheesy, and so I was a little nervous about it.
I was ready for the beginning of the album to be offset a little bit of that cheesiness with some lyrical Tortured Poets type vibe.
So I will say, upon my first listen, which was in the car on the way to Vermont this weekend, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
And I actually was kind of like, oh, okay, this is like fun. It wasn't as pure pop as she made it sound like it was going to be, or not in the way her other pop music has been. It's like, it wasn't as like, it was a little darker or something. And so I kind of initially was like, okay, this is interesting. I listened. There weren't any songs that I heard off the bat that I was like, this is amazing. But I don't often feel that way.
I was like put off by a few songs upon first listen.
Well, same. Eldest Daughter.
Being track 5.
Something has gone horribly wrong. And there, I've said
Yeah,
it. I don't know what happened.
Here's
Here's the thing. I think that this album...
When I got to the lyric that she girl bossed too close to the sun, that's like, haha, Taylor Swift. Like, that, I'm not saying that ruined the album for me. That's the cringe you're talking about that could have been offset by like anything good.
Yes. So... Also, like, I saw someone on TikTok say, like, she's doing exactly... This is the kind of music everyone, like, accuses her of making. And my friend Mari today, who's not a Swiftie, was like, yeah, I heard it and I don't like it. But also, I think it sounds like all of her other music. Which, like, I resisted the urge to be like, no, it doesn't. But, like, I get what she's saying. It's, like, whatever.
It sounds like AI said... Some of her songs, it sounds like you put into ChatGPT, make a song... that is stereotypically what people make fun of Taylor Swift for writing.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to shame people who like it. I'm actually jealous of you if you like it. Yeah. I'm not kidding.
I agree.
And I'm not saying that means you have bad taste. I'm not saying that means you're like a Taylor Swift apologist or whatever.
Or like blindly loyal. Like,
no, I love that you love it. Also, I will say, I do think it has I didn't want to listen to it all the way through again, but I made myself because we were going to be talking about it. I do think it has very fun beats.
I totally agree.
I think
Fate of Ophelia has a great
First
beat.
of all, the whole fucking album has been stuck in my head all weekend, which
Right.
was actually kind of annoying me because I don't like it.
Right.
But it's catchy. There's good beats. I don't know how to determine if a song is, quote, well produced. Like, everyone keeps being like, well, the production is great. I'm like, I don't know what, like, I'm not the person who can tell you.
It does sound good. I think it's catchy because it does sound good, lyrics aside, in your ear listening. I was listening to it today again while I was walking, and like, it's to your point, it's not cookie cutter pop. There's like an interesting element in most of the songs of like something, I don't know if it's like darker or like, we probably sound dumb, but like there's an element of it that's like, like
something different happening.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I think that if the tone of the album or the lyrics or something had been a little different, I think a lot of these songs could have been smash hits, like all-timer Taylor songs. Like, I do think if you try to listen without the lyrics, like, a lot of them are fun, and a lot of them actually don't sound that dissimilar than, like,
Right.
some of other people's favorite Taylor Swift songs. I also was thinking about it. I think if some of these songs had been on a different album, if you threw in one of these songs to, like, Reputation or Midnights or 1989.
Or like if you threw in like Elizabeth Taylor to Tortured Poets randomly.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Like, I think some of them within the context of a better album
would be
would
fun.
be well loved.
Yeah.
And
it would have been the anti-hero of...
Yes, or like, I don't know. There's plenty of also, like...
Style is not a lyrical
No.
masterpiece. I love that song.
Me too. I also think that there's some songs on, because I listened to the album again, and then after Spotify started playing me some old Taylor songs, which honestly just made me sad, because it was like poppy Taylor songs. Like, if you're a fan, it was playing like Out of the Woods and like Dress, and I was like, ugh, like, these aren't her deepest lyrical songs.
Dress, top 5.
Also, so sexual. No one's saying she can't be sexual.
No.
Just like whatever. So I think that if one of those songs, there are some of those songs that maybe if you, what am I trying to say? If you picked it up out of whatever album it's on and put it on, I couldn't remember the album name, The Life of a Showgirl, you maybe wouldn't like it that much because the album, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think there was something about the album as a whole where, like,
it was also, it's a short album with not that many songs.
Yes.
So I remember making my
for
way.
her.
I made my way through like 4, and I was kind of like, wait, there's not that many left.
Yes.
And I don't love these. And also, I mean, okay, you know where I want to go next, so I'll refrain.
No, I want to go there too. This is just my ending of like the musical part of it. Like, I think the songs had the potential to be very good. I think it is lyrically her worst album in a long time. It feels like that was an intentional choice on her part.
It had to have been.
Yeah, because it's bad.
You go listen to other songs of hers on Tortured Poets that she wrote recently. That upon first listen of those songs, I had to back up because the lyrics were so crazy deep. It almost felt gimmicky in a sense, but in a way that, like, I love.
And she got shit for that album too, of people being like, it's too wordy. You gave us 30 songs. We don't need 30 songs. You word vomited at us.
And I loved that. That's
same.
Yeah.
And I think both critiques are like very valid.
And I don't want to yuck anyone's yum I have not told a single person that have said they love the album.
No, I literally
don't
wish
like
I loved it.
Right.
So yeah, I just was not like overly struck by it. I was saying this to my friend Katie the other day. There's just like something Taylor that feels like it's missing to me, like a heart.
I completely agree. You know when music feels like, okay, not to go back to my queen, Olivia Dean, but when she talks about music that makes her, I don't remember what she said on the Today Show recently, but there was a TikTok clip that was like, do you ever have a song that like pierces your like soul?
Yes.
Her songs do that for me. She mentioned Adele. She mentioned, there were a couple others where I was like, of course I love you, because everyone that you listen to are like some of my favorite artists. Taylor Swift, after I listened to Folklore in its entirety, I was like, wait, hold on a second. This is none of the songs on this album made me feel that way.
I also want to say something. I think the reason that you and I are feeling the way we feel about it is because we believe that she's one of the best artists of all time.
Yes.
Especially of our generation.
100%.
Like, I don't want to downplay that. I think she's one of the best songwriters of all time. She's not one of the best singers of all time, but like everyone has their things. And like she's an amazing performer and an amazing songwriter.
And I think the albums that I love of hers are because of the lyrics. And I find this album to be abysmal when it comes to the lyrics.
It's not great.
And
are there any songs you liked?
I liked Elizabeth Taylor. I didn't like Elizabeth Taylor because of the lyrics, but I liked it.
Yeah, that song has a very good beat.
It does. I have to be honest that I have to go here because it's such a part of why I don't like the album. I think that given the time that we are in, and I'm not saying, I want to preface all of this by saying I think that it does famous people. I think it does our country a disservice when you decide that every single person who is in the limelight for some reason has to make some sort of grand political gesture. I think that I don't know. People have this debate all the time of like Michael Jordan and LeBron's done so much for, for Ohio and where he's from, and why didn't Michael and I think those debates are valid and totally. And I'm not saying that Taylor Swift had to get on the mic and start singing about how, taking a side on
like have a song about like being anti-ice.
Right. Like, I'm not suggesting that by any means. And I also am not suggesting that like there had to be this like massive social or political overlay to her album. There are so many things to write about right now, whether it's being a young woman trying to find like love in like your young adulthood in a big city, and the fact that like we're going through like a period of time right now where like male loneliness and like video games and all that is like really scary, and like there's a world in which you could write about like empowering young women. She's done a lot of, you can lightly touch on broader societal backdrops without being like, overtly, and fuck ICE.
Like overtly political.
Exactly. Yeah. She said nothing except fuck you, Charlie XCX, one of the only people who took I applaud anyone who's willing to use their platform to like champion Kamala Harris in the election, and but I'm not saying she has to. I'm not saying, but to actively go against the very people that were spearheading a large movement of young women in this country to get the first female president elected to the United States, to use one of 9 songs. How many songs are on that album?
12.
One of 12 songs, 1/12 of your album, you're using to attack another woman in the industry whose sympathy is a knife is about self-doubt. I think some people have said it's about like feeling really insecure in the industry. To use one of your 12 songs as a diss track against someone who, I don't know her personally. What she symbolizes for young women in this country in the last year, 2 years, has been huge. I find that part to be kind of unforgivable. Thoughts?
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you just said. That song, Actually Romantic, that's the diss track of Charlie XCX, I think is honestly where she lost me. Like, that's where I was like, this album is not for me. Like, I don't want to just repeat everything you just said.
Are you sure it's... how do we know?
Okay, so it's, Charlie XCX has a song called Everything is Romantic. So first of all, that seems like an automatic Actually Romantic. Second of all, she says something about... So in Charlie's song, In Sympathy is a Knife, she does talk about, we assume, Taylor. It's about... I see you backstage with your boyfriend. Taylor was dating Maddie Healy, who's in the same band as Charlie XCX's now husband, George. I'm crossing my fingers behind my back, hoping you guys break up. But then the chorus is like, I couldn't even be her if I tried. Like, it's about like, listen, it's not the nicest lyric ever, but it's about comparison, the industry, being a woman in the industry, etc. Maybe let's even give Taylor the benefit of the doubt and say that Charlie has said the worst things in the entire world about her behind the scenes.
Right. They have this personal feud that is so far beyond what the public even knows, and Charlie's been nasty.
Right. So I think, echoing everything you just said, that like, right, Kamala's whole campaign last summer was brat themed, kind of. Like
it
was,
right.
Absolutely. And like, I don't know, Charlie, I actually don't know how overt. I think Charlie is pretty political. And I know just generally she's like so involved in the LGBTQ community. She's very just like cutting edge and like not afraid to like say and do crazy shit.
She's very much on the cutting edge of when you think about like why conservatives hate the Grammys. She's very much pushing
the boundaries
and the envelope of what it means to be
Yes.
like an artist and a liberal artist.
I think the fact that Taylor put that song on her album, and honestly, I kind of like that song. I don't think it's the worst song on the album. I actually also kind of like if that song had been more about like Donald Trump, who's been talking shit about her for years. Even Kanye, I don't know, like so, like you know what I mean. But like to make this petty diss track about another woman who's been using her platform for good, I'm just kind of like, first of all, no one fucking cares. Which this is my rant I'm about to go on.
Go on it.
I have a lot of anger and I've been trying to keep it in, but like I've been saving it for this moment.
Yeah.
Why are we pitting women against each other right now? If there's a problem, deal with it behind the scenes. You know, at this point, from Katy Perry, from even like things like Olivia Rodrigo, like there are feuds she has had. She knows they become public and they affect the other person's image. Like
100%.
Why are you doing that? She knows how crazy her fans are. She knows we're all going to know it's about Charlie. My biggest takeaway from this album, it's related to yours, is that I actually don't fucking care that you're rich and it's hard. I don't care. I said this about I Can Do It With a Broken Heart when it came out.
You've been saying this.
I said, I'm uninterested. And again, it's okay if you are interested.
Right.
I am just stating my opinion. I'm acting as if thousands of people are going to like listen to this and come at me. But like, I'm not interested in her songs about being Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I'm just not, because listen, I'm sure she goes through hard things every day, just like all of us do. There's a level of just being human that's hard. And I'm sure there are things about being that rich and that famous, as much as we want to think it's the easiest life ever.
Right, and then it makes all your problems go away. It doesn't.
I'm sure there are parts that are hard. And I've talked on this podcast before about feeling sorry for her, that it's been hard for her to find a meaningful relationship through all of this.
Right.
And I'm glad she seemingly has. However, I think this album was the most tone-deaf thing she could have possibly put out at this moment.
I was about to say, my biggest takeaway, it's so tone deaf and it communicates a level of out of touch that I have so much anger because I didn't think she was this out of touch.
Yeah. I
and
agree.
that's my thesis of my feelings about the album. It's like, first of all, the songs are bad. And second of all, and here's what I said. I said this to Logan and Rachel, and I meant to text this to you. I wish she had done something. I'm not saying she needed to even, the album says nothing.
Yeah.
If she had said, let's all be trad wives and vote for Donald Trump, I would have been happy. She would have lost a lot of people. But that would have said more that this is just like, here are some feuds I'm having with other women in the industry that I'm going to get billions of fans to rally around me about. And
she calls women bitches multiple times in this album, and not in like an endearing way.
No. And she talks about like, I've seen a bunch of discourse about like how like weird and like, what's the song where she's like, I just want to get married and have a basketball
list.
court and be like, it's giving Sydney Sweeney American Eagle. And to add on top of all of it, the amount of things she could have said to the amount of people she could have said it to talk about how hard being her is in this moment. I actually think this album would have been much better received in a different.
Wait, I said this.
I think you maybe said this to, I don't know.
I don't think I said this to you. I think I said it to
did.
Mac.
Yeah.
I think if this album had come out even summer of last year, before the last election, it would have been better received.
It is so. I think the thing that bothers me the most is like, it could have the best beats ever. I just find I'm disappointed with how out of touch she seems right now.
Yeah, and I also think that like I just think she's become really, really, really self-involved, which when you are that famous and everyone around you is focused on making you as successful as possible, like I can see how that would happen. But like the songs are about, like she has that line in I don't remember if it's Elizabeth Taylor or Fate of Ophelia, but she says like, I'd rather be in love, or I'd rather have somebody to trust than a Cartier ring. And then in the back she goes, just kidding. And it's like, I don't know. I just think she's
Kim, there's people that are starving.
right, literally.
Like,
and it's like
a lot of them right now, by the way.
And also like, I don't know. It just lots of lines about I have everything but nothing at the same time. And like, listen, she's written a lot of songs. Like her song Peace is all about how like she feels like she'll never be able to make anyone happy because of who she is, and could you ever have peace being with me? Obviously, knowing what you know about Taylor Swift, you know that she's writing from a place of like
connecting.
I'm famous,
right?
But it feels like a feeling or a thing that's like
other people
relatable to other people,
yes.
And it's like beautifully written. This is like I'm rich and famous, and my feet hurt after the Eras tour that you all spent $1 billion fucking dollars on, and so like I'm gonna go get dicked down by my football player MAGA boyfriend, and like I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I also just think now I'm going off. But
no,
go off. Go off.
We lose 75% of our listeners.
There are a lot of people.
Can I add one more thing? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I don't mean to keep bringing it back to Olivia Dean. I really don't.
Keep bringing it back to our girl.
I just think as a young artist who is very famous and is a female living in America right now, I just need to add on to what
Does she live in America?
Maybe she lives in the UK. Whatever. Okay. I just think.
Same thing. Just kidding.
I just think she writes songs about, and maybe it's just because I connect to them so much right now, but she writes songs about like baby steps is a song about, have you heard it? Like,
no, you told me to listen.
It's so good, but she talks about like, it's really hard when you like break up with someone who was taking more from you than, that isn't what baby steps is about, but who was taking more from you than they were contributing to your life. And I'd rather be single and not have anyone to like text when the plane lands than be in a shitty, like, I think that's really empowering and like a really important message for young women to hear.
Right. It's not political, but it's like,
but it's important. And like, oh, what if we actually wrote songs not about like, I wish I was the girl for him, but I wish that he was the guy for me. Like she's doing all of that. And I also think that like, there is also space for Sabrina Carpenter to talk about her wet vagina. Like
I have always said that.
My point being like, when it's done in a way that feels empowering, this felt a little like this is going to have weird alt-right MAGA undertones, but I'm going to name one of my songs Wood because like I'm a little slut. And it's like, yeah.
Which, by the way, Slut, beautiful song.
Beautiful song. Also, be a slut, Taylor. Like, right. I am so glad you're having some great sex.
Some of my favorite songs of hers are songs she's written about sex.
Yes, and I hope she's having so much of it.
Part of me's like, are you really? Because why are you writing about it like this? Sorry. Anyway.
It's giving the person that always has to talk about their last sexcapade.
Mm-hmm. I ain't got a knock on wood. Anyway, I think, unfortunately, that song is stuck in my head now. I think, God, I have so many other things to say. I'll start with this because you were talking about Olivia Dean, and we already talked about Charlie. XCX.
What was the
not
other,
my dear friend?
What was the other? She disses someone else.
People think maybe Olivia Rodrigo.
Girl, let it go. Seriously.
I don't know who that song's
She's
about.
She's just
also very vocally liberal. Anyway, so
Kate, she addresses all of that in the Miss Americana documentary.
Which, to be honest, I smelled that bullshit from a mile away. But anyway.
Do you think she's fully...
No, I think she's just the most self-interested person in the entire world. I bet you she votes blue, honestly.
But you think she's like...
I think if someone asked her, she would say, I'm worried for my safety. And I have friends who are like...
Well, because I guess she... I mean, in fairness, she did post that she endorsed Kamala.
Mm-hmm. I think that... Charlie XCX. Her album... I sent this to you over text. She literally wrote an album about like having fun with the girlies and doing coke. Although I will say there are a lot of songs on that album that actually do have like deeper meaning. Like she talks about like the way, being a female in the industry. Like she has a song, Apple, is about generational trauma and like your relationship with your parents and how it affects you. She has a song about whether or not she wants to be a mother. Like at the end of the day though, it is like a club anthem, fun, rave album.
Yeah.
I just sounded like such a boomer saying that.
It's a fun club
I
rave.
did go to the concert and it was the best night of my
Yeah, you
life.
had
Although
so
I
much fun.
was the lamest person there.
No, but that's fine.
I think that there's a way, and that album also did come out in a different time, but I think that there's a way to make an album that makes people want to have fun.
Of course.
Even in dark times. And I think it's important. I just don't think that this was that album. And
No.
I also heard people say I think Taylor does her best work when she has something to prove. She doesn't have anything to prove right now. She's like at the top of her game right now.
Have you seen the interview circulating that's like, I do get a little nervous that once I'm like deeply in love and super happy, I'm going to have nothing to write. The lyrics are going to dry up.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say is that I've seen a lot of discourse online, and I bet I have friends listening to this right now who will say, like, she doesn't owe us anything. She's a musician. She can do what she wants. And to that I say, I agree with you. Like, it's her prerogative. If she feels like she's in danger, she doesn't want to put herself in danger by talking a lot about politics, like whatever. Like, that's her prerogative, sure. But we also don't owe her anything.
Uh-huh. I don't have to like it.
Exactly. And also,
And other people can.
we don't have to spend all of the money we've spent on her. Like, I just think, like, I've seen a lot of discourse online of people being like, you're not a true Swiftie if you don't like you don't deserve to be like a Swiftie if you don't like this album, like whatever. I don't know.
I've seen a lot of discourse that's like, these are the same people that hated Reputation when it
Right.
first came out.
Which, like, listen, I'm also fully acknowledging I would be very surprised that maybe I'll eat my words.
Eat my words.
And like, maybe I'll like this album one day. I don't think so, but maybe. I used to fucking hate Style when it would play on the radio all the time back in the day. And like, I love that song now. Out of the Woods, actually, I think is the one I hated. Love that one even more.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't think that we as Swifties or just as people owe her anything. And if we don't like something, she is a person who has profited greatly off of the amount of love that fans have for her. And I think that if we don't feel like we're enjoying what she's giving us, like, we don't owe it to her to pretend that we do.
Totally.
And also, she has built this following off of having an extremely parasocial relationship with these fans.
Right.
And so it's not like she's, I don't know, like Harry Styles even, who's so fucking famous, but like, he doesn't make his fans feel like they know him really. Like, he's very mysterious. Like,
Yeah.
she has built her career and her insane level of wealth and fame off of having this very personal relationship with her fans. So I think that's why people get so upset when she drops something that they don't feel
Is like
speaks to who they think she is.
or is like reflective. And I think that's, to me, the thing about this whole the thing about all of this that has been the most disappointing is I kind of liked to believe that she was less out of touch than she clearly is. Mm-hmm. And to me, as a person, and I'm not just saying this, I genuinely mean this, in my life right now, the music that I would like to consume, if it comes out in the year 2025 with all that's at stake right now and everything going on, and also just me being like a young person in my mid-20s living in New York City, single, trying to like not date the worst men on the planet, it's not the music that I am looking right now to consume. If I was in a different place in my life and if the world were in a different place, maybe. I think the thing that's like the cherry on top for me, so to speak, is like putting all that aside, which it can't exist in a vacuum, but putting all that aside, I still don't love the music.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum for liking it. I really don't. Like, if you are bopping to these songs and you like it,
If you are a showgirl,
great. I just am not.
I just don't have the stomach for it right now.
I don't.
And I think like if I like, maybe there are, to be honest, I really like the song Father Figure.
Oh.
And like, I think I maybe will listen to one or two of these songs every so often, but like, I just don't feel the same way about it. I don't feel like supporting it in the same like way that I have wanted to her other recent album. I'm just like kind of like, it's making me feel kind of like icky.
And I think,
and if you can listen to it and not feel that way, and if you like it, like, more power to you.
100%. I also think what's hard, and I think the thing that I am having trouble with is like people were like, what's the album you listened to after that or whatever? And like my favorite album of the last probably decade, which is a very hot take for some people, I love Cowboy Carter. I love that album front to back. To go on Spotify, if we're talking about Taylor Swift discography, I can kind of be like, okay, I'm going to go back to Folklore because I love it, or like Tortured Poets. I think for me to listen to, the first song I put on was American Requiem after that's like what came up next after the full album played, and I was just like, this is just in two completely different worlds.
Also, that's another good example of an album it's like not a, like, that album has a lot of like positivity and optimism and joy and fun, but it's also about the Black experience in America
and like how country music has historically, like, there's so much rich.
Right, it's deep. That doesn't mean it's dark or depressing or like I think you can
only
make
ballads.
Right. I think you can make fun and joyful music in a time like this that doesn't feel like you're just completely on another plane of reality and like so fucking out of touch. And Beyonce is also so rich and famous.
Right, but she took the time to research like the experience of Black country artists historically in America. Like, she put, I believe, so much into that album in terms of like sort of counteracting maybe the extent to which she might be out of touch with her. Just at that moment for me was when you said the Charlie diss track. For me, when that song came on after that album, I was like, okay, again, I'm the first person to champion both Beyonce and Taylor Swift. You don't have to pick one, guys. You don't have to pick one. I'm just saying this stark juxtaposition, one after another, of Wish List turns American Requiem. I was kind of like, woo, we've entered a different...
Anyway, if you have thoughts, I'm genuinely curious to hear them, because I could be wrong.
I think also...
And you don't hear me say that every day.
I also think that she's allowed... Okay, here's another thing I will say. She's allowed to write an album that's not... Like, I think some of the criticism I've heard is like, we don't hold... Like men have had really bad albums before, but they're still thought of as like, you know, such a great... Or like, okay... I was thinking about this as I was going to bed last night, because I actually watched 2 really interesting documentaries that we need to talk about. As I was going to bed last night, I was thinking about Frank Ocean.
Okay.
And I was like, people still think of him as this like beloved, amazing. I watched the Call Me Tim, the Avicii documentary. Fantastic.
Okay.
And it's all about your stage persona versus like who you want to be and all this stuff. And he was doing really well. He was like better. And then he died by suicide. The whole thing was like, but when I was going to sleep, they were talking about his, what's the festival in Miami? The music festival that's like crazy. Ultra. Remember his set at Ultra? He like tried to do live music and it was just Aloe Black singing. You don't know about this? Okay, it was like this epic fail of a set. And people were like, he's like a fraud. And it's just like Aloe Black, like everyone's rolling on Molly and there's like lights and craziness and fire. And then all of a sudden everything just turns off. And it's just tiny little Aloe Black in the corner singing. Logan and I were watching and Logan goes, oh, I would have had a fucking panic attack. It's actually so funny. But I was going to sleep and I was like, Frank Ocean, for instance. Yeah. Horrible Coachella set. Like, epic fail. Didn't appear the second weekend.
Wasn't it like Ed Sheeran instead or something?
Yeah, something like yeah. Also like
crazy 180.
Also like, yeah.
I might have made that up. I don't
He
think
like
I
said
did.
he was going to do an ice skating rink. You remember. Frank Ocean said
I didn't know there was an ice.
There was like all
there was
this,
an ice element.
There was an ice element. It all totally fell through. It was terrible. People still think of him as like a songwriter of our generation and like this amazing. And so I was trying to compare last night when I was going to bed because I was like, however, people still talk about the fact that he had a really fucking terrible Coachella set. Like that's still part of the conversation. I guess my point is, I don't think that this is like this album should like, I saw some headlines that were like Midnights was like the beginning of like the desperate fall from grace for Taylor. And like, okay. Also, no, she did the Eras tour, which is arguably one of the like the feat of a century. Like she's done some amazing stuff. She's allowed to have a bad album.
100%.
I'm disappointed in the lack of commentary on what's going on and how out of touch it felt. But like, this doesn't mean that I'm like not a Swiftie anymore or like don't want to listen to the next one or like album 13 I'm not going to be excited for. She's like an artist like everybody else and is allowed to have a bad album and we're still allowed to be fans.
There's also been so much commentary about how her respective men have impacted her discography, which like, yes, do I like the songs she wrote about her ex of 6 years, Joe, better than the songs she's written about Travis? Yes. That being said, I've seen a lot of people being like,
I know what you're about to say. I don't like this.
I know. Because she's referenced that Folklore and Evermore, which are her two most like lyrically interesting albums, that Joe helped her with a couple of the songs. And he's actually credited on like two of them. Like, I think it's like two, maybe. I should fact check myself.
It's not all of them.
No. I've seen people being like, maybe Joe wrote more of Folklore and Evermore than we thought, which I'm like, that is so misogynistic.
So fucking
and
sexist.
I've also seen people, this was actually a funny tweet, unfortunately. But I saw someone be like, I think Taylor got sexually transmitted CTE. Sorry. It's like, my friend Charlie sent me that one. But like,
arguably less problematic though, because at least they're attributing her own brain. I don't like the tweets that.
Well, honestly, I think both are problematic.
Right. No,
it's like,
of course.
It's like, what if she's just like a girl and like she's just doing her thing and like maybe she's not being so. Like, I just think the fact that it's like it's these men that are controlling the art that she makes. That.
Like,
although maybe that's what's on her wish list. I don't know.
And ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So how long did we just rant about that?
For 51 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, can I just say the other thing I watched, and we need to talk about it, is Swiped.
What's that?
The Whitney Heard. Who founded Bumble? Wait, you guys, the story. Whitney Wolf Heard. I knew I was right.
I didn't say you weren't.
These men at Tinder.
Oh, they like completely sexually harassed her, right?
You have to watch the documentary, which she was not a part of making.
Oh, I see. I hate when that happens.
No, she couldn't be.
Why? Oh,
she
the
signed
NDAs?
an NDA.
Oh,
Kate.
In that case, name them.
Kate. I was beside myself, but it's so well done because it talks about sort of like her inability to recognize the sexism that was going on at Tinder because she was the woman that was allowed in the room. And they have in the documentary, she owns up to it when she starts Bumble. She brings all of her intersectional coworkers from Tinder. And when they walk out of the office, she has this conversation with one of the women that worked there. She's like so upset about everything that happened at Tinder, and her African-American coworker and friend, she leaves she essentially is like completely ousted from the company, even though she was being harassed by an ex-boyfriend at Tinder. It was terrible. She sits down and has this whole conversation with her ex-colleague who ends up coming to work for her at Bumble, and they're sitting and she's like going on and on about like, and can you believe and da-da-da. And her black female friend is like, yeah, this stuff's been going on for years. Like I don't get credit for anything. Right. And like whatever. So they have this whole, and Whitney ends up, I think like the biggest critique of hers is like white feminist, like girl boss, whatever. But like, it's a fantastic documentary, and it also just shows you like the stuff that was happening in the workplace and the way that they played it out in the movie, it was like,
Is it a movie?
it's a 2.5 hour.
But it's a documentary. Or are they reenacting it?
It's a full movie based on true events.
Oh, like people are acting
Yeah.
it. Oh.
Like Steven from Tell Me Lies.
Never seen that.
He plays the same fucked up guy in both things. But anyway, it's
Okay,
just like,
Steven.
it's just like great, and it makes me happy that she's able to tell this side of the story. And even if it's not her, I'm glad that this side of the story is being told, because some of these conversations and the way that they reenact them, it's like scary, because it's like not like you could see a world in which she was just like a smear campaign and like all this stuff. So anyway, really interesting. I'm also just like, I love all the like campus stuff that's going on right now with Bumble.
Oh, Bumble BFF.
And like all the BFF stuff is about, I don't know. It's a really, I mean, it's one big Bumble ad,
Of course.
but it's also like, I like that it's talking about these things.
Totally.
I think I'm looking for media right now that feels a little hopeful given the situation that we're in.
I've been watching the darkest fucking documentaries.
Oh.
Maybe I need more hope.
I guess my point
This
is
week I watched Katrina and Osama bin Laden. Sorry, neither is funny.
would either you recommend?
Both.
Would either you recommend? you both were good.
Well, no, you were still talking and I interrupted.
No, I want to talk. Well, I was just saying.
And I got dark.
I think that blind optimism is weird right now, but stuff that kind of like hints at this, but it's like stories that are being told by, apparently the producer of Swiped is like, it was like her first big movie.
Oh.
And I think there was like mostly women. Like, it's just a really cool, I don't know. I'm just
Okay,
obsessed.
slay.
I just like, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not bored with that yawn.
No, it's okay.
It's the latest we ever recorded.
It's almost 10 p.m.
It's 10. We're insane.
We're so crazy.
I think that
Was Katrina,
just if you ever have thought that systemic racism doesn't exist in this country, I encourage you to watch Hurricane Katrina documentary on Netflix called Come Hell or High Water and get back to me. If you're listening to this podcast and you don't believe in systemic racism, honestly, welcome. Let's talk.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, especially for people like us who were like so little when it happened.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I had a full grasp of how bad it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would highly recommend that one.
Okay, love. I'm gonna watch it.
You should. And I'm gonna watch Swiped.
You really should. It's quite good. I would watch it with Mac. I think he'll love it too.
Wait, we've been looking for like more content.
Swiped is good. Swiped is really good.
We're in the middle of a Euphoria rewatch right now, and I've also talked about this on this pod before, but we just finished season 1, which I think is like one of the best seasons of television ever.
Wait, Logan said this 2 nights ago. She goes, I will stand by the fact that season 1 of Euphoria is some of the best television that's ever been made.
Logan and I are really just two peas in a pod.
You really are with your media consumption.
I fucking love Euphoria season 1. It's so good.
Can you watch it like back to? I got like dark because you remember I watched.
Yeah, you watched it on one day. No, Mac and I did like 1 or 2 episodes
It's a lot.
a day. Yeah, I always sob, cry in the season 1 finale.
Is that when they go guilty or innocent?
Yes, and all week I've been singing that to Mac. I'm not kidding. Guilty or innocent.
Is that when Cassie gets an abortion?
Yeah.
That is a great episode of television.
I signed Mac with my
guilty or innocent. Okay.
No, I was gonna say season 2 just fucking sucks. We just started season 2, and I'm like,
wait,
so
are
mad
they still
about it.
making 3?
I don't know, Annie. I almost don't want them to. I don't need all the stupid fucking media right now. And that's the thesis of this episode.
Oh, can we actually last thing?
Yeah,
Wicked.
we talked about it.
2.
We talked about it.
We did.
We went through the whole plot, or lack thereof. It's okay. You didn't edit or listen to the last episode, so I get why you don't remember.
What did we talk about?
Wicked
And free speech.
and sports. The episode was called
Fiero football and
Football, Fiero, and the First Amendment. Oh, I should have said free speech. Fuck.
that's okay.
No, that would have been better.
Okay, so that
this was
a
like
lot.
an intense episode.
Yeah.
I think next episode we should do our dating episode because I think it'll be funny.
Okay. Wait, also everyone should get Circa if you're single. I mean, or if you're in like a poly situation, I guess. But Circa,
Mac?
CERCA is kind of what, like, well, it's a good app. It's you essentially like load all your contacts in, but people don't get like ID'd or what?
No, absolutely.
People don't get an alert that like they're gonna that like you joined.
Yes.
But you stop making fun of me. But then you get like a certain amount of like I still don't really know how it works, okay? But
she recommends
but I
it.
love it. And yeah.
And lastly, goddamn.
That sounds so annoying for people listening.
We cut it out then.
Okay. Clearly I'm editing this week. Okay. Well, I hope you Showgirls. I'm
The
going to leave
show
you.
must go on.
I'm going to leave you with the quote we got from Gail about this
Even
album.
though this performance flopped, the show must go on.
Absolutely.
Because a showgirl never gives up.
Exactly.
If there's one thing I've learned.
Here's what my mother said to Kate and I quote, and I'll leave you with this. LOASG, because we're talking too much. She's not spelling that shit out. Is hitting weirdly, period. I'm sorry that being famous and extraordinarily rich is hard for you. Solve a world problem then. Showgirl has, quote, I'm not worried because I'll always be famous vibes, ... And then about 30 minutes later, she said, like, I'm so glad that you're having great sex, Taylor, but the world is on fire. Not sure if you're aware, ... Smiley face. Next text. I feel I'm being a tad too harsh, ... To which Kate said, no, period. You're not. Okay.
Well, now you can understand why we are the way we are, because that's our mother.
Okay, and next week will be light, fun, flirty, and amazing. Also,
We're gonna be so flirty next week.
I
It's
can
crazy.
also say this. I love nothing more than when people listen and then text us either something that they disagreed with, their opinion about, that they felt the same way, etc. So, if you are a Life of a Showgirl stan, I'm open to hearing why. Because what we posted on our Instagram got a few responses that said, I'm so scared when we said we have lots of thoughts.
No, but we want to hear
Yeah. I'm
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
famously, we've been wrong about her before. Okay.
Also, for our Insta dump, I want to do pictures of us in theater over the last 25 years as showgirls.
me as Cassandra, the cat. Mm-hmm. Okay. And with that,
we'll see you next time,
we'll
you little
see
showgirls.
you next week, all you little showgirls.
Bye.